Girl, I knew we was done with church when my mama started reading and exposing the pedigree of every single deacon one by one in the middle of a deacon board meeting. And the reason she did it was because I was removed from a position in church for sounding too feminine. I'm MC Shakie, mcshakielive, and this is my video about why I am not in church. Picture it, New Orleans, the 90s. Did I just give my Sophia Petrillo my grandmother yet? Oh girl, wait. Picture it, New Orleans, the 90s. Now, in case you didn't know what New Orleans was in the 90s, you had to know the atmosphere. New Orleans was a very dangerous place in the 90s, baby. In case you didn't know that, it's the reason why they call such a small city the murder capital. But one of the things that was constant in New Orleans is churches. On Sunday, that's where we was going. You had the most strongest black women in the world at the time. And guess what? We was in that church. Sunday, you ain't had no place to be. I don't care what you was doing Saturday. You under that roof, Sunday morning, you is going to church. If you don't know what that feeling is like, baby, getting up when you don't feel like getting up, you going to church. One thing I remember every Saturday morning was my eyes would be burning because the house would be smelling like bleach and fabuloso. I'm talking about every Saturday morning and every Sunday morning putting on our Sunday's best and going to church. I won't name the church that we went to, but it was downtown. And it's now a real big church. I'm not gonna put them church people business out. In church, they have what's called a reader. A reader would read, there would be two selections they would be reading, one from the Old Testament and one from the New Testament. The deacon that was over that would tell us whatever section that we had to read the week before. So that on Sunday after church, we would get whatever section we had to read next Sunday, and so we could practice it and get our words pronounced right and all that stuff like that. Now, I was always a smart girl. I wasn't like shaky and out the closet, like just whatever. I wasn't that shit. I was a smart girl. And so they gave me the job, the unpaid job of being a reader. And so it would alternate on what selection I would read. Sometimes it would be Old Testament, sometimes it would be New Testament. All right, without question, I took so much pride in this because I really couldn't sing. I was in the junior choir, but I was a backup at best. And I wish I could sing. That's the one thing I wish I could do. But I couldn't sing. And so I definitely wanted to be part of church because my brothers was a part of church, my sister was a part of church, my aunties was everybody's part of the church. I'm talking about the bros was part of this church going people. And I was so excited to be a reader. This is like my chance to shine and be part of church. I took pride in it. I would go practice them long ass words, girl. Them Ezekiel, blah, 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 I would be practicing. I would practice on how I would deliver it. I was giving my all to this position. I do the position successfully for six or so weeks, almost a couple months. I'm successfully doing the position. I'm the best reader up there. I pronounce all my words. I take my time. I make it dramatic. Like I'm at emphasis. Like I made it a thing. Y'all know me. Back then, I made it a thing. Like this was my production, baby. It was my show, and I had my spotlight, and I delivered. You heard me? I delivered. My uncle, my mama's brother, is one of the deacons. The first I ever got wind of them actually discussing me at a deacon board meeting was my uncle coming to tell my mama. Nobody ever said the word sissy. Nobody ever said the word gay, but they did imply it. My voice and my mannerisms became the issue. And so my mama was like, what? That don't even make no sense what you're saying. The discussion went on that I sounded rather effeminate on the mic during my delivery. That was the concern. I asked my mama, so what am I supposed to do? I don't know, like my voice hadn't really come in yet. And so, and I mean, hey, I just got that sound, I guess. And even as a child, I had that sound. So I asked her, what am I supposed to do? Something different or what? And so she was like, baby, go ahead and do exactly what you've been doing. They're going to be all right. So this went on for another couple weeks, and I just did exactly what I've been doing until they had a deacon board meeting. And my uncle calls and tells her they have elected to terminate Rodney's assignment. I got fired from a job that I wasn't getting paid for, all because of how I sounded. And I want y'all to know something. I wasn't rebellious. I wasn't disrespectful. I really enjoyed participating. It really wasn't about losing a position. It was more about finding out adults were having conversations about me like I was a problem to solve. This became a point of contention for me because at the time I was in the process of reconciling what I thought to be my sexuality with my spirituality. Of course, growing up in church, I knew nothing but God. I knew nothing but God, and I knew nothing but God as love. And so when I was wrestling with the tenets of my sexuality, I would often go to God. And so I would often ask, believe it or not, God, please take this demon away from me. And so this became a part of life where I can honestly say helped shape who I was for real. And people don't be realizing how much or how instrumental small actions can make in the trajectory of someone's life. Because this really did. Because two things I learned here. People are just stupid. And the second thing I learned is there is nothing more important than a mother's love. Because after I got terminated, my mother dragged me to the next deacon board meeting. And so we're sitting outside waiting for them. She had to bring an issue before the deacon board. And so as a member of the church, she was allowed to do that. And so we're sitting outside waiting for them to come. And so they call her, and I'm just sitting there because I really don't want to go in. I'm really quite embarrassed that I've been taken off a position that I worked so hard to do and it wasn't paying me for anyway. But okay, she said, no, you need to see this. So my mama walks into the deacon board meeting. She said, I'm going to be real brief with you. Shirley ain't coming that sad. She ain't coming that angry. She came with receipts. Brother Patterson, you sleeping with Sister Annette, and that's not your wife. Brother Jameson, you have a baby on the way for a little young girl down the street. Brother Williamson, ain't your lights just got cut off? Brother Jackson, Renison just picked up your stuff from your house. Brother Johnson, you talk about my son sound like that, but word is you've been messing with the choir director. Like she went down the line and read them to pieces. I think this is kind of where I got it from because I witnessed her do this with the truth. So she used airline business. And to add the cherry on top, she didn't even spare her own brother. My brother, bro, didn't you just need some money to buy out of jail? My mother, who was always my champion. And if y'all read Deserve to Be Loved, make sure y'all go read it. It was good. You will see just how much of my champion she was. My mother, who's always been my champion, showed me that love always wins. Like regardless of what these people say, I love you and I'm going to defend you no matter what. They were just jaws on the floor. I'm just like, oh my God, now she just didn't tell all these deacons to fuck off. Like she in the middle of church and letting the deacons have it. And basically be like, bitch, y'all won't play with my child, but look at what y'all doing. And so after she did that, she didn't even wait for their response. She grabbed my hand and said, don't worry about it, we won't be here no more. And we walked out of church, never to return. My mama eventually went to another church, actually changed religions. There was a whole bunch of stuff, but we grew up in that type of environment. Honestly, this whole thing is a wound that ain't really healed yet. In my wrestle with spirituality, I had to find out where I stand with God and with people. Initially, I looked at them all as the same thing, but I had to know it wasn't. As I was wrestling with sexuality and spirituality, then I had to wrestle with the people, and it was a lot of wrestling. I was wrestling, baby. My issue was never with God. My issue was with human beings using God to humiliate someone. I went on to do a lot more research into the tenets of religion and sexuality on my own. And I'll actually probably talk about that in a whole nother video. I needed a church home, especially going through what I'm going through coming home from prison. I don't have that. And I never had that since I was a child because of that one instance that changed the trajectory of my life. I allowed people to disconnect me from connecting with people to commune with God. I remain a very spiritual person. As I'm sitting here now wishing that I also had a relationship with a church community, I feel like this is just something that I wanted to come and talk to y'all about because I really feel like I have a connection with y'all. oh God, Sip Nation, y'all have been there with me for so much. Y'all have loved on me through all my faults and prayed with me through all my faults and never judged me and always loved me. And I love y'all for that. And the community that we have and the community that we're building, I feel so grateful to be a part of. This is what the church home should have felt like. This is what my church home should have felt like. So I have a question. I want to see y'all responses to it in the comments. I have been very strongly thinking about going back to my old church. They're still around. They actually a lot bigger now. And I was thinking about one Sunday just showing up there. Now, obviously the deacons and the stuff that this occurred to 20-some years ago are no longer there. A lot of them are passed on. There's one or two I think that are still alive. I'm sure they're not active they were older then, so I'm not sure if they're active in the church. But I have spoke with people who actually attend the church now. I have spoken to people who remember that we were part of that church. Do y'all think I should go back? If I do I have to dye my hair? My hair green, and how do I should I present myself different or what? Or should I don't even know, because now I'll be going back as MC Shakie, and that is somebody who is very famous in the city of New Orleans. Like, I'm known. Like, if I go to church, they go, oh wait, that's MC Shakie in our church, and not even probably knowing that I used to be a member of that church when I was younger, when I was a teenager. So do y'all think I should go back? Let me know what you think in the comments, and any other insight that y'all have on this topic. If you enjoy interesting content like this, I implore you, join Sip Nation. Subscribe to my channel. Hit me up at mcshakie.com where you can find everything you want to find about Sip Nation. Until the next video, I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all next time. Boom!